let me start my talk by asking you a question. Do you think it is important for us to stay connected to our roots? For me, yes, it is important to stay connected to our roots. What brought me to this thought was a conversation with my grandmother when I was probably 10 years old. My grandmother wakes up really early in the morning at 5 am and cleans the stairs. Afterward, she puts rangoli on them. This has been a practice of hers for many years, and I have been seeing her do this for a long time too. So one day, I decided to go up to her and ask her, why does she do this? Every morning by waking up so early. So when I asked her, she replied, it's our traditions. They're meant to be followed. Our ancestors say that we are blessed with prosperity if we keep our surroundings neat and clean. To be honest, I was kind of shaken by such an answer. Because according to me, my grandmother is an educated woman from the medical background and shouldn't be so superstitious. But later in the day, when I sat in my room, I realized how I had driven apart from my traditions. I even reflected on the other people who have not cared to hold on to their roots. For example, people who have left their native country like India, which is rich in its culture and heritage, and have now become like complete foreigners towards their own land. They're forgetting where they belong. Many of my friends who have now shifted abroad have not celebrated festivals in years. Neither do they meet their relatives, nor do they eat traditional food anymore. They regard Indian customs and practices as something very insignificant. We have to understand that leaving our culture and our roots doesn't make us fancy, but it makes us weak from within. Yeah. There are even some people who don't think that staying connected to their roots is outmoded. They celebrate their festivals, eat their traditional food, and even wear their traditional clothes. There are many artists, especially poets, who appreciate the culture of where they come from. One of them is Arundhati Roy. She is born in India and has lived here for much of her life, and then she shifted to England. The fundamental idea of Arundhati Roy's writings basically focuses on feminist perceptions, post-colonial dimensions, politics, literary tourism, and of course her Indianness. She has written some mind-blowing books about the post-colonial India too. Some people don't think it is necessary to stay connected to the people of the same origin as them. But there is also a good thing which people are following. People have formed diaspora communities. They scatter from their homeland and move to places across the globe. And while they do this, they spread their culture too. Did you know the largest Asian diaspora in the world, with an estimated of 17.5 million strong diaspora, is not of anybody else but of India? Diaspora communities represent and maintain a culture different from those of the countries which they are located in. They retain strong ties to the people of the same culture and origin as theirs, and with other communities too, so that they can preserve their culture. Few people who come from the rural areas to the big cities or the metro cities find a small place to live with a bunch of people so that they can save money. They work hard to earn money, and a small part of that earned money is spent on their day-to-day needs, and a larger portion of it goes back to the village they come from. With that money, they look after their parents, they get married, they build their houses, and etc. And after some time, they build their community here and get their families here. So this way, they don't forget their roots. Or there are even many people who earn some money, send it back to the village, finish all the responsibilities, and again go back to the village they come from, and then they do farming or some work there. So either way, they don't forget their roots. Why am I saying this is because the place where I stay, I see people who wear different clothes, have different eating habits, and even celebrate different festivals. And this is also one of the reasons why we get a variety of food to eat or a variety of clothes to wear. Let me explain with an example. If a person from Tamil Nadu wouldn't have come to a place like Goa and had continued eating the traditional food such as idli, would we have ever eaten idlis in our state? Or else, if we had not if the person had adapted to the Goan culture, where the speciality is fish, would we have ever sold South Indian dishes in our restaurant? This also shows how important it is for us to stay connected to our roots and how important it is to spread them too. One of the easiest and yet most important ways of keeping our roots alive is educating the next generation about it. Making them feel connected towards their customs and their roots is also very important. So let me ask you the question again. Do you think it is important for us to stay connected to our roots? Thank you.